back to Gaming Tonight. I am your host, Brian, and it's been an interesting last few days when it comes to the world of gaming. Of course, we just had the next gen officially happen upon us, which is now considered current gen, and we had an interesting leak over the weekend that if you're a Stadia fan, you might want to listen up because Capcom may be coming to the platform a lot sooner than you thought. And of course, we're going to talk about some Ubisoft stuff. So without further ado, let's do that. As you can see, Watch Dogs Legion is loaded up here. Kind of talk about this real quick. So Watch Dogs came out just a couple weeks ago, and it's a weird time when you want to buy stuff in the gaming world because, you gotta know that this is the holiday season, and of course Black Friday is upon us. And you'll see sales of games, and this actually happened before Black Friday. And this is Watch Dogs Legion, and this is down to $30 already. So if you hadn't picked up Watch Dogs Legion and you're looking for it, this might be a good time to buy it because over at Best Buy you can pick it up for half price, and it does include a free next gen upgrade with it as well. Now, I don't know what this says about the game and how well it's doing if the price is already cut in half, literally less than a month after its release. But this seems like almost a norm for some companies to do this because 2K did this with NBA 2K21 about a few weeks after that launch too. So let me know your thoughts if you played Watch Dogs Legion. Is it a game that you think is worth picking up? I've heard good things and bad things, so I'm not sure what to make of this, to be honest. So let's move on to the next thing. And that is our good old friends over at Assassin's Creed. So Assassin's Creed over in the UK is doing extremely well. Now, Valhalla has come out for a lot of things. It's come out for Xbox One, the Series X and S, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, PC, of course, Stadia. So a lot of these consoles are getting Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so it's going to be one of the big games of this holiday season. It's one of the cornerstones of the next-gen lineup, too. So we're already finding out that Assassin's Creed Valhalla, not only is it the best Assassin's Creed launch, in fact, it's just crushed Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is the last game. It's beaten Call of Duty pretty well, too. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is one of the big games coming out, or it already did come out just a few days ago. So I wouldn't take this one too... I wouldn't take this one without much of a grain of salt here because it is talking about it's beaten Call of Duty in box sales, so in the physical copy of the game. Just keep in mind that Assassin's Creed Valhalla came out on Tuesday and Black Ops just came out on Friday, so maybe the numbers aren't entirely there just yet. And of course, Assassin's Creed is also at a couple days ahead of Call of Duty to build that up. But the fact of the matter is, it's happening. And Call of Duty was number one during its debut week for the last 13 years, as it mentions here in this game industry article. But Ubisoft is enjoying very much what the success of Assassin's Creed is bringing to the platform. When it comes to Call of Duty, at least, Call of Duty is enjoying its highest digital sales, or digital first day sales of all time with Black Ops Cold War. And considering the pandemic, considering next gen, and people maybe just like me personally, I didn't want to go to the store, so I just bought it on my PS5 and we're good to go there. So, I mean, digital is slowly, if not surely, becoming the norm for people to play that, which is why when people say cloud gaming is not something that people will want to latch onto, is like, well, getting people to buy digitally is half the battle, and a lot of people already are there. So this is encouraging news for Activision if they were worried about maybe physical sales. I don't think they were worried about sales for Call of Duty, but as we can see here, they did just fine. Now, when it comes to Assassin's Creed, I'm just going to read a little bit here. It's already done it's already done more than double of the launch sales from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I very much enjoy. I'm way, way, way far away from beating the game, but of the game I've played so far, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is an awesome game. So for Valhalla to do extremely well, it's encouraging for Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed, the series itself. So Assassin's Creed had a weird moment where a lot of games just weren't doing well for them, but since Origins and Odyssey, things have taken off for them, so it's good for them. They do mention that 42% of the game's sales came from the PlayStation 4 and just 18% came on the PlayStation 5, despite the latter machine not coming out in the UK until next week. So, like I said, this is from the UK, and they already had 20% of sales for Assassin's Creed Valhalla come from the PlayStation 5, which is not even available out there just yet. And then they say the rest of the sales come with the Xbox version. And I mean, doing the math, I mean, that's weird because they don't include PC or Stadia in that as well. So I know those do have sales as well across the board, but when it comes to at least the physical home consoles, that's what they go with there for. All right, so moving on to the big news of the last day or so. Over at Reset Era, we got a summary of the leaks that happened over at Capcom, which brought us some interesting information regarding not only Stadia, but everything else in the world of gaming, including the Switch. So take a look here. We'll kind of react to what we see here. So Resident Evil Village, which is Resident Evil 8, they have some details in there talking about a current gen release, an April launch, which is just a few months away, and that there's going to be a demo before release. I think demos are just, by the way, a great way to... It's a great selling tool, which I don't know why companies don't do more of it anymore, but it's a good tool. Absolutely. So seeing a demo for that would be great. A new multiplayer Resident Evil has been referred to internally as Project Highway Village Online. It's a battle royale of some sort. So seeing a battle royale or seeing them dip their toes harder into the multiplayer aspect would be interesting, especially with a mainline Resident Evil title. So we'll see if that gains any more traction. Capcom is possibly working on a new Ace Attorney collection for the PlayStation 4 and the Switch. So that'll be interesting to see if that actually comes to fruition. Speaking of the Switch, there is a new project codenamed Guillotine for the Switch in February, other platforms in May. So it's going to be a timed exclusive for the Switch. What it is, we don't know. And there's an unannounced project Rewa in May. No platforms have been mentioned, so we'll probably be hearing more about that as the new year turns over. Monster Hunter Rise on the PC will be releasing next October with demos for the Switch in January and March. Maybe they're doing 2 different demos here. Maybe in January they're going to get early impressions, and then in March they'll release another demo proper. Monster Hunter Stories 2 on the PC, targeting June 2021, also coming to the Switch. It'll have single-player online co-op and player versus player modes, including paid DLC, cosmetic microtransactions, and amiibo support plan. So it's another series that would find its, a third-party series that would find its way into Nintendo's toy collecting market. Resident Evil 4, which has been pretty much on every single console imaginable, apparently is being planned for Oculus VR. So that is interesting, specifically because Resident Evil 4 is not a first-person game, so it'll be interesting to see how that's done. And then there's also a new shooter multiplayer game titled Shield, geared towards streamers. So I don't know if that's going to have like some kind of like streaming tech integrated into it, maybe like a crowd choice, a crowd play kind of deal. How it's technically geared towards streamers, I don't know else what that could mean. Some source code is also leaked for Devil May Cry 2 and Umbrella Chronicles. It's a Resident Evil game. And here's the big news for Stadia fans, myself included. Apparently, Stadia, Google, they paid Capcom $10 million to bring Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village to the platform. And by the way, we have no word on Capcom's agreements with Stadia. We don't have a Capcom game on the platform yet. We haven't had Resident Evil 7 or 8 being announced for Stadia. So if this is the case, this is Google Stadia's 1-year anniversary coming up this week. So if this happens to be true, this could absolutely be something they wait for Thursday to announce if this is going to happen. And they also mentioned that Sony has paid $5 million for Resident Evil 7 VR, time DLC, and demo exclusivity. So going back to the Stadia piece, $10 million, I mean, that's an interesting price because we don't know what that's including. So assuming that's just bringing the games to the platform and that's it, that's a lot of money. Of course, it does cost money to port games over, so eventually you get to a point where Capcom or 2K or EA will just want to bring games over your platform regardless of you paying them or not. So Stadia, being in its current position, does need to pay for third parties to bring games over because it does cost money, and it may not necessarily be the greatest benefit to the third party publishers and developers if they want to bring a game to a new platform that's unproven for them. So this would be interesting. It'd be interesting if Resident Evil 7 finds its way as a pro game as a part of that deal. Again, I mean, we won't know more until things happen. So if that's kind of an interesting number. I mean, if that number is accurate and concrete, it'll be interesting to see if that's just simply to put a game on the platform. So it essentially puts Capcom's asking price at $5 million a game. So that would be nuts. And it'll be hard to imagine Stadia recouping that loss because making $5 million back might be hard, but they may have more customers that weren't customers before coming to the platform due to it. So they also had official staff communication regarding these leaks, apparently, and this is what they said. It's just kind of a little bonus thing I just want to toss in there. To be clear, we won't allow any posting or of personal information, no link into source code or anything else that might qualify as piracy. In fact, let's be safe and say no links to any downloads at all, and no links to any shady sites where such things might be found. But information, the fact that this has happened is news, and news should be covered. That doesn't mean condoning hacking or leaking, but this is going to be reported on. Pretending that it didn't happen isn't sensible. This isn't the first time that a hack or leak has produced news, and in both gaming and world news, that's always been fair game for discussion. Discussing the ethics of leaks is also fair game. If you see any posts with inappropriate content, please report it. This is from, I believe, Reset Era. So I want to know what your guys' thoughts on the Capcom leaks are. Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs as well, but mainly this, because this is big news, bringing more information about Capcom's future in the next year or so. And if you're a Stadia fan, is Resident Evil 7 and 8 the first 2 games you want to see from Capcom? Personally, I want to see the remakes first. I want to see Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 come to the platform first and then kind of build up from there. But, I mean, it's important to get the newest game on there, absolutely, for sure. But I would have liked to see the trilogy there to start things off. But what do you guys think? What would you have liked to see? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this video, drop a like. If you didn't, dislike it. And, of course, share this video with a friend who might be looking for some Capcom games over on Google Stadia, or you're trying to prove them wrong that Assassin's Creed Valhalla just wasn't doing well enough. But Watch Dogs isn't. So let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, we'll catch you more this week because it's a big week we got planned. Saturday, Stadia Super Saturday is happening. I was invited to hang out with everybody for a 36-hour event taking place over on multiple channels. My channel will be going live this Saturday at 11 p.m. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, like I said, we'll catch you down the road. Have a good one.